Gentleman yields. I now recognize Ms. Greene for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Reichlin-Melnick, I'm not sure what country you're paying attention to, which border you're paying attention to, but for your information, there are thousands of illegal immigrants, illegal aliens being mass released onto the streets of Arizona. Isn't that right, Mr. Lyons?
Yes, they recently announced yesterday that we would start seeing those in my home community of Yuma, where they're already doing it in Tucson and other border communities.
Yeah, it's not rare. It's
No.
not something that just occasionally happens. Where a few of them, excuse me, I reclaim my time, where a few of them get released. As a matter of fact, it's being reported this morning. According to the Border Patrol, there were 9,300 migrant encounters at the border in the last 24 hours. That's 45,000 encounters in the last 5 days. Mr. Borelli, can New York take on just another 45,000 more illegal aliens?
No, I think financially and due to space concerns, the inn is full.
Mr. Lyons, can Arizona house some more of these people and feed them and educate them?
Right now, Tucson is now shipping some of these people back into Yuma, and Yuma does not have any facilities, nor do we have homeless shelters for these people because their facilities are full.
And if you ask any American citizen who is, by the way, we're in $33 trillion in national debt now, I don't think we can afford to pay for this. We heard Mr. Luttrell tell you, Mr. Borelli, that he doesn't want to take back the illegal aliens from New York, and Texas doesn't want them either. I have a pretty good idea. How about remain in Mexico? Mr. Borelli, would you go along with remain in Mexico?
It certainly seems like before January of 2021, this problem was a lot less significant for places like New York.
Absolutely. Remain in Mexico worked. Mr. Lyons, how do you feel about illegal aliens remaining in Mexico?
We saw 1/20th of the challenge that we're seeing today because of that MPP protocol to remain in Mexico.
Seems like it works. Ms. Maliatakis, you're from New York. How do you like remain in Mexico?
I think it's a good idea. It certainly worked under the previous administration.
Yeah, it worked, but somehow under the Biden administration, this no longer works. Mr. Reichlin-Melnick, last year on April 6, 2022, you tweeted that you were at the border last week with your 97-year-old grandfather, which is really nice. It's nice to be able to spend time with your grandfather.
Should be watching today.
You said it was a lovely day out. You said you did some bird watching, drove through the mountains, and had a great afternoon. You said there was no tragedy, no invasion, just normal life, and that border communities are some of the safest in the country. Yet, in April 2022, there was a record recorded by Border Patrol of 235,000 encounters. Are you aware of that?
I'm aware of the numbers, and I stand by my statements that border communities are some of the safest and best communities in the country, as I'm sure my fellow panelists would agree.
Well, the week that you were there with your grandfather on April 3rd, 2022, 72-year-old Perry Adrian Cole was killed by an illegal alien in an 8-vehicle crash that the illegal alien caused. So do you consider that safe and good for the border communities?
It's undoubtedly a tragedy, but again, data shows that undocumented immigrants, on average, commit fewer crimes than native-born citizens.
Like, how would 20-year-old Kayla Marie Hamilton's mother feel about that? She was raped and strangled to death by an illegal MS-13 gang member who was apprehended at the border before being released into the interior of the United States. I think her mother would disagree. I think you should also understand that in the year of 2020, the U.S. Border Patrol criminal non-citizen arrest was all the way down to 438. That's from in 2016 when Obama was president, from 12,842. I'd inform you today that we are over 12,000 again under the Biden administration. Again, that's Border Patrol criminal non-citizen arrest. Mr. Lyons, are border communities safe, lovely places with no crime and good for families and communities?
We've had 106 different countries cross into Yuma community, with 17 being from special interest countries where they've apprehended multiple criminal elements coming across the border.
Should Arizona pay for that?
Absolutely not.
Mr. Borelli, should New York pay for this?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. I yield back.